Hello YouTube, this is Eso, and I'm on my way back from school, walking, so if I'm out of breath, you will know why. But I'm gonna head to my car, and I'm gonna try to make another voice memo using Apple as I drive. Right now I'm walking. I don't really have a topic in mind, but I guess, talk about what we talked about in class. That would be interesting. I have two classes that I'm taking currently. One is a physics class, and one that I take earlier before that is a philosophy class. I really like philosophy. Philosophy is interesting. But I guess you guys probably wouldn't like to know about the physics stuff. Maybe you would. Man, physics is cool. But today we only talked about what the test that we went over. Everybody got wrecked on the final answer, the final question on that test. Literally, nobody got it right. Oh no, one person he said got it right. Everybody else got it wrong. Where is my car? Dude, where's my car? Dude, where's my car? I think here it is. Here's my car. Happy car. Let's see. Let me get my keys. That is the wrong pocket for the keys. And here are the keys. So, be just a moment as I get settled into my vehicular mode of transportation. All right, I'm gonna set the camera down, or phone down, and you will have to listen to me as I talk and try and maneuver my way back home. Alrighty. Get set, go. What are we gonna talk about? Oh yeah, physics. Everybody, I did okay. I got an A after the curve. And the only question that I got wrong mostly, I got 1 point off on a different question, but the main thing was the final question that everybody got destroyed on, and I got that one wrong. However, the professor said he's going to take that question off. Yes! So that I will get a good grade, even though I felt like I wasn't doing well on that test. A bunch of cars are waiting for me. Sorry for the silence. Let's do some maneuvering here. I am an awesome maneuverer. And this truck is pulling out. I don't think this video is going to be really boring because I'm not participating very well in the talkingness that is going on. Let's skip straight to the philosophy, the cool stuff. We were talking about ethics. Oh boy, ethics. That is literally one of the most controversial topics in the history of humanity. What is right and what is wrong? Man, there is nothing more controversial, nothing that divides people more than the idea that somebody is doing something wrong. And not just wrong where it's incorrect, but wrong where they are morally abhorrent or morally reprehensible. People don't like it when you tell them what they're doing is evil or wrong or stuff. If somebody came to me and was like, Eso, you're evil. Okay, first of all, I would be like, you're a joke, because I don't listen to who randos on the internet tell me what I am. But if it was like a friend of mine, and they say, hey, you're evil, I would ask, why? Why do you think I'm evil? I guess to me, somebody calling me evil when I, in my head, know I'm not evil, it doesn't really bother me as much. But if somebody... I guess it does bother me over time, because there are a lot of things that bother me when... especially generalizations, like if somebody based on their education level, like I am still in school obviously, and so if somebody's like, oh, if you're like a professor, when you have a PhD and you're saying this is how people should behave, I guess I lend a lot of credence to the idea that people with higher levels of education or intellect, or sometimes even just social status, and politicians, like, just if somebody with higher authority says something, I guess I take it to heart more than somebody on my level, somebody I consider a peer, which is good and bad. But you know the argument that people are like, people don't, like, teenagers stop thinking about what their parents say and start caring more about what their friends say. Some don't care about what their teachers say, only their friends. Like me, I never cared about what my friends thought, because my friends were, I love my friends, but they were pretty dumb. And so growing up, I usually either set the standard of how we're going to behave because I was the authority figure, because I wasn't dumb. But on the other hand, my friends also didn't really listen. Some of them listened to me, but most of them, they're like, who is this guy? He didn't tell me what to do. But then at the same time, they would go and do peer pressure stuff. Like, they would be like, oh, I got to do this because everybody else is doing it. It's like, no, that's not how this works. That's dumb. That's why I consider them dumb, because they're just doing peer pressure stuff. But, sorry, I was distracted by turning. Authority was one of the questions that I gave or answers I gave in class when it comes to what is right and wrong, which on some level it is. I don't know about a greater objective moral authority, but I do know within the realm and context of a singular experience. I'm using a lot of big words for no reason. But for instance, in the classroom, you'll have a bunch of people that are students. They're on the same authority level. Then you'll have a professor who, typically speaking, is at a higher authority level. They get to say what is right and what is wrong in their classroom. They don't get to tell you how to live your life. They can, but that's rude, and you shouldn't listen to them if they're doing that, unless you're doing something wrong, and then you should probably take their advice. But typically speaking, like if they say no chewing gum in my classroom, it depends on the university, but if they get to set the rules in their classroom, they can say no chewing gum in my classroom. I don't want it. By the time you're an adult, they usually don't do that because they have better things to do with their lives. But like in the classroom, when you're in an elementary school, they get the teachers, the principal, the superintendent, they get to decide what the rules are. Obviously not illegal to chew gum in most places. Some places it is because they don't want you spitting it onto the road or the sidewalk. But most places, especially in the U.S. and a lot of other countries, I'm from the U.S., so I'm partial. I don't know what country you're in. If you're listening, it might be, since I speak English, maybe in the UK, maybe in Australia. I don't know. Probably in the US, because I don't have that large of a reach or influence on how many people would be listening to me. But if you're in elementary school and the principal says something, that's the law in the school. That it just is. Just as if you're part of a group or organization and you have a leader, just in business, when you're working, your boss is the authority. They get to say what is right and what is wrong and how we conduct ourselves. Now, there might be a greater moral authority than them, and so if they tell you to cheat and steal and rip people off, you can say no. But if you're at will, especially, they have the right to fire you because they're right and you're wrong, just because. This will also occur in some relationships, which I think is not particularly healthy, but sometimes people will act as if they're right and you're wrong all the time, regardless. I sometimes do this. I think all humans do it to some extent sometimes, but I try not to force people to cow to my will, I guess. I am very adamant and I am very stubborn, but I don't find very much pleasure in, I guess, blind adherence to my ideologies. Some people do, and good for them, I guess. I don't know. Either way, we were talking about ethics, and as I said before, ethics is a very tricky and controversial topic. We're only doing the intro to ethics. Epic! We're only doing the intro to ethics currently. But it's one of my favorite topics, and I've thought about it a lot. One of the things we asked was, where can you get your ethics or morality from? In this context for this class, ethics and morality are pretty much interchangeable. They're going to be the same thing. Now, in other contexts, you can differentiate between the two, but here, they're going to be the same thing. So, one of the things the professor asked is, where can you get your ethics? And there are a lot of different answers. You can get them from society. You can get them from your community or culture. You can get them from yourself as you self-discover. You can get them from personal empathy and how you want to treat others based on relating to their experience. You can get them from guilt and avoidance of negative consequences and those sort of feelings. You can get your ethics all over the place. Religion offers some people their morals. You can get them from philosophy. All the different human philosophers that we've had. I mean, I don't think we've had any non-human philosophers. I haven't seen any elephants giving any moral authority theories lately. That would be strange. But you can, however, get your morals from nature, either through the belief that human nature inherently has some sort of innate morality. That is a belief system that I do not prescribe to. I don't think that humans innately know. We have to teach people. You teach kids not to hit. You teach kids not to take stuff and everything. I don't think that humans naturally adhere to societal norms. I think they have to be in that society. To me, that just logically makes sense. But then again, from me, I think that most morals and ethics are created by society. Now, whether or not there is an objective morality, I don't know. I'd like to think that some things are just considered evil, so we shouldn't do them. Like, I don't know, hurting people, causing suffering, that intentional, malicious suffering, I consider that evil, and I would like to think that the rest of the world does as well. But I don't have any proof or evidence for it without taking strong, baseless premises. However, we also discussed different statements. And one of the things that always bothers me, and that we covered in the class, was the difference between the declarative. Was it declarative? No, it was descriptive. Descriptive statements and normative statements. Descriptive statements are just how things are. They are facts. If I say this car is blue, I'm not driving a blue car, by the way. But if I say the car is blue, then the car is blue. Now, that statement can be true or false, but it's not an opinion. Like, I'm not saying, I believe this car is blue. No, it is or is not blue based on the wavelength of the light that reflects off of it. In the U.S., red light means stop, green light means go. That's just what they mean. Those aren't opinions. However, if I say I think green is a good color, or it's a nice color, that's not I don't even know if that's a normative. I just know that it's not a fact. I mean, why am I telling you? You guys know what facts are, presumably. I know what facts are. You know what facts are. So, but it was just something that came up in class. But let's say jaywalking is illegal. That is descriptive, because it actually is on the books illegal, at least in my state. People do it all the time, and it's not really enforced, but on the books, it's illegal. Now, if I say jaywalking is evil, which I don't really think it's actually evil, because people don't do it with malicious intent, but if someone were to say it's evil, that's a normative statement, because it's prescribing a moral value to the action. And I think that in today's popular culture, people have problems differentiating, I'm saying that word horribly wrong, differentiating between normative and descriptive statements. Like, if I say that a certain group of people commits this crime a lot, that typically, it can be true or false based on my data and my resources, but that information isn't necessarily, shouldn't be offensive if I'm just stating an actual fact. Like, if I'm wrong, please tell me I'm wrong, and just be like, nope, that's actually proven to be wrong. But to get offended by facts, that's a dangerous territory, because you start to hide from facts. And I think a lot of people on both sides of the aisle of schools of thoughts, it's not just conservatives, it's not just liberals, it's not just libertarians or socialists, everybody does it. But more people that are more intellectually honest, I would say, accept that, one, they have biases, but two, strive to be more reasonable and more logical. Now, logic is not the be-all and end-all. We are humans, we have emotions, and our emotions and biases don't necessarily allow us to act rationally all the time, but we should strive to. There are some things that we should care about with respect to emotions. Like, if you could save the world by torturing 10 people forever, that's not good. Don't do that. Yeah, you'd save the world, but that's evil. People say, oh, it's for the greater good. Yeah, but sometimes you have to care about not violating human rights, you know? That's kind of a good thing, not violating human rights. But, and also that scenario would never come up, so it's just a crazy hypothetical. I don't know. I don't even know where I was. Like, I should have, well, obviously I can't right now because I'm driving. I can't have like a binder and say, oh, this is what I'm going to talk about while I'm driving. Let me look over while I'm driving and see what's on my note card. No, I can't do that. So you'll have to bear with me until I figure out a format for this sort of talk. I'm stuck. Just going off the top of my head. And if you enjoy that, then that's great. And if you don't, well, leave a comment and help me get better, because I would really like to. Because I'm still having fun. Yesterday I had my first video, and these videos might actually come up, be uploaded at the same time. But yesterday I had a lot of fun. Last night doing the first video, and now I have this second Memo video that will go up. It's probably going to be shorter because I think the distance from the previous location that I was returning from and the distance between this current location, my school, I think the distance is shorter. Especially there's less traffic. I'm not sure. That's gonna, if I don't have any memes because I haven't done this long enough, but I'm pretty sure if I did this long enough, then my verbal tics would become memes, because that's what things do, right? When people who are popular say things repetitively all the time in all their videos, it becomes a meme. I read a funny quote. It was based off the Spider-Man? One of those superhero movies where they say you either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become a villain. And where the quote was, you either die a hero or see yourself or live long enough to see yourself become a meme. And I was like, yes, win. I don't know. Memes are a strange thing. Now, I've read about memes in regards to human society, and with respect to the society at large, memes are just little bits of information that spreads really quickly because it's easy to relate to and you can identify with it. Or at least that's what I took away from the article. But internet memes, they're a whole different thing on themselves. Some of them you don't even like. Yeah, I guess you can relate to them because of the human experience. They make you laugh. Some of them don't even make sense, but they make you laugh, and that's a great thing. And I think that memes can be a force for good, but they can also be a force for not good and sometimes evil. When I say not good, I guess I mean neutral. Like there can be memes that are just things that exist in the universe out there somewhere. They don't have a moral value to them. But some memes that are hurtful or harmful, those can be bad because memes spread so easily, and they're basically like a virus that infects the brain. I know CGP Grey, I like to listen to him. He did a video about outrage, the outrage machine, and how it's like, this video will make you mad. It wasn't actually trying to make you mad, but it was describing how things that make people angry spread way quicker than all the other emotions. Which is true. And memes are like the maximum distilled form of information transmittance in viral form. Literally, memes are viruses for your brain. This truck bite next to me is really noisy. Bye, truck. I'm almost home. I don't really know what else to say other than, yeah, we covered ethics in class. There were 3 branches of ethics. There were meta-ethics. There were applied ethics and normative ethics. I think meta-ethics was like, where do ethics come from? What causes them? Like, why are they a thing? And then normative ethics were, this is what is right and wrong. This is how people ought to behave. And then applied ethics is that you should do this. This is like actually finding actual examples of ethics and where the controversial topics are. Like, I don't know, different just human rights and how the government should behave and treat humans and all those sort of things. I wonder in the future, will rights be considered human rights, or will they just be called sentient rights? Because, I mean, imagine if you lived in a world where there were elves, like in the Lord of the Rings, or some other fantasies or sci-fi setting. You wouldn't have human rights if there are more than just humans. You would have the rights of sentient beings or something. I'm going to use that when I write a book. The rights of sentient beings. And then there's non-sentient. Sentient? Sentient. I don't actually know how to pronounce that word, but I pronounce it the way I pronounce it. And if you don't like it, leave a comment. But yeah, I think I'm going to do a paper on that eventually. And it's going to be just in regards to AI and what rights would AI have. But this is assuming sentient AI, or at least AI that can experience something. If it can't experience, then it doesn't matter. Like, can something suffer without experiencing? Like, do rocks suffer? I wouldn't think so. I think the answer to that question is no. Rocks do not suffer. But anyway, YouTube, I am home, so I will let you guys go, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye. Take care.